Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff. We all know that Mike Tomlin said there would be some changes on the coaching staff, and for the most part, he hired two new coaches on the defensive side, a defensive back coach and a inside linebackers coach. But other than that, it was no major changes. No changes with any other coaches or any coordinators or anything like that. So, if you're a true Steeler fan, you kind of get used to the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are never. I mean, now I can't really say never because they did do it with Canada, but I mean that took. I don't know. He should have probably been gone a year before they actually finally did it. But for the most part, the Steelers will let a coach, run your contract out. Then once your contract is up, maybe if they're not satisfied with you, whatever, they'll let you go that way. But other than that, they're gonna ride with you. I mean, it just seems like with the Roonies, they don't want to, and I get it, but they don't want to basically pay a guy to sit and not work. So that's their belief, and that's the way they roll. And as Steeler fans, we should just be used to it by now, and that's just how it is. So with that said, let's kind of get into this here. So we'll start off with the offensive coaches. Obviously, last year was an up and down performance on the offensive side of the ball. And so what I did with this exercise is I basically I'm not the GM, but these are really like my feelings. Like I say, we know where the Steelers stand with these guys, and they're not gonna make any type of drastic changes. But these are, like I say, these just my opinions and the way I feel about some of these guys. So Arthur Smith, came in. Not a major complaint about the offense. For one thing, the Steelers' offense was just so bad that anybody that came in and halfway scored some points and just looked like a NFL offense was, people was going to be happy. So for the most part, um, no complaints about Arthur Smith. It's kind of, and nobody really know the true story about it. Just that thing with him and Russ, that's kind of, a little disheartening as far as, maybe having that riff of running the ball, passing the ball, and just want to make you want the offense to be explosive, and especially with the type running backs that the Steelers had. If you was going to get any type of explosive plays with the Steelers, it was going to come through the air. So, with that said, not a major concern. So what I did here is his seat, and I'm gonna say his seat is warm. And the only reason I say it's warm, and not in a way that they're looking to replace him, but I just think going into next year, especially if it's Fields, just say they bring Fields back. This is the guy that is reported that Arthur Smith really wanted. So he's gonna have to really develop this kid. It ain't gonna be none of that, just what he can do with his legs. Because that's a good part of the game. But at the end of the day, you have to win in this league, you have to be able to throw the ball. That's where your explosive play is gonna come from. I mean, the good running and all that, that's like a bonus. So I think with that said, I just think his seat is and I probably should have made like a lukewarm. So I say it's more of a lukewarm than really warm, but I just think just going into just second year is big. It's big. People, they expect big things. So, like I say, you're gonna have a quarterback that still need to be developed, and he has to show that he can actually develop a quarterback because he haven't really shown that in his coaching career. So we'll see how that goes. Tom Art. Well, second year as a quarterbacks coach, I thought he did a pretty good job. I mean, like I say, Fields basically looked like a different quarterback than he looked in Chicago. Um, we always said with Russ, I mean, just by him being a veteran, it wasn't going to really be too much that he's going to be able to do with Russ. So I think right now his project will be um, Justin Fields. Like I say, if they bring him back or any young quarterback that they maybe draft or whatever, because he's really going to be the guy that's going to hopefully groom the next quarterback and get that guy ready and get him off in the right direction. So his seat is cold. No, I don't see no major problems with him. And like I say, I thought he did a good job, in his first year. So, um, you know, we'll see down the road how he does. But right now, it's no issues there. Zach Anani, the receivers coach. Um, Coach Z. Coach Z is a good guy, good coach. Um, I thought, I mean, he did okay. A lot of the picking stuff, that's just, I mean, that ain't really his issues. Wasn't really so much on the coaches. So unfortunately, you got to deal with that. The only thing, I mean, um, let's Austin, Austin. I thought he improved, so that was a major get. But my only thing that kind of weird was this Mike Williams deal. Like, I mean, they traded for him. His first game that he played in, he made the game winning touchdown. And then it seemed like he just disappeared for 3 weeks. Then whenever they did go to him, he actually made plays. It was weird. Like they would go to him one time, and then after that, that would be it. So I don't know if it was a situation where he couldn't grasp the offense or what it was. So that was the only weird thing about what was going on. So with Coach Z, I'm gonna say his seat is a little warm. And again, I probably should have put more of a lukewarm. And the only reason that he's really getting that is because you're gonna have to deal with Pickens, and you're gonna have to some kind of way get through to him. I'm thinking that you're probably gonna have a young receiver. Probably gonna draft one. So you got to really, he's gonna have to work with that guy, and then Wilson. I mean, like, what's the deal with him? Um, whatever his issues are, he's gonna have to get him straight. So, really, he just got a lot of projects that he really need to work on and get some production out of those guys. But again, no major problems here. Like I say, instead of really saying warm, probably should be a little lukewarm. And like I said, the only reason I'm really putting him in that status is just he got a lot of work to do. He got a lot of work to do with the guys that he got. But again, no major concerns here. Eddie Faulkner, running back coach. Um, you always see on video all the different type of crazy drills that he do and that. Um, I mean, at the end of the day, I think he got whatever he could get from Najee Harris. Again, regardless, you know, 4 years, over 1,000 yards. Jalen Warren, pretty productive. So again, no major issues here. I think his seat is cold. Probably going to have a young running back that he's going to have to develop going into next year. Um, no Harris. I don't really see Najee coming back. So you're going to have to he's going to have to get the young guy ready, and then also even with Jalen here, I mean with Jalen Warren, he gets nicked up a lot, so he's gonna really have to you know work hard and get these guys going. Pat Myers, his third year with the Steelers, so this is probably his final year of his contract. We've talked about this. Um, not only me, but I think a lot of people is probably not happy with him returning. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, at this point, his number one concern is going to be Broderick Jones. I mean, because when I look at Jones, I look at a kid that, to me, he plays lazy. He plays lazy, and just not knowing all of the assignments and all that stuff. And like I say, at the end of the day, you have to be a pro. It ain't even. It's not on a coach to make you study and all that stuff. But I just I don't know. Uh, I don't. I I thought the Steelers maybe should have won in another direction. But with that said, he's back. So we just got to see if he can get this. I mean, because he has talent. It's talent on that offensive line. So it's just see if he can get these young guys going and hopefully these guys can stay healthy. Because the injury, you got to be fair, and I'll be fair. I mean, they had some injuries, so that was part of the deal. But we'll just see what he can get done. And as you can see, his seat is hot. His seat is nuclear hot. So we'll see if he can cool that down a little bit, or he's gonna be you know turning your key card at the end of the season. So we'll see what happened there with him. Alfredo Roberts, one of the coaches. This is his fourth year with the Steelers. You don't really hear too much about him. Um, Me personally, my only issue that I have is with fire move. I mean, he became a he's a better blocker than he was, but to me, his blocking is still terrible. Um, I think he plays a little soft. To be honest, he plays soft. Um, and again, I know it's whatever was in a guy. So you really, you can't really blame everything on the coach, but sometimes a coach needs to try to push those buttons or find what motivates a guy to do a little better. So if it was me, I would have him on the hot seat just for the fact of I need to see more. I need to see more from Fryer Move, and then also I need to see more from from Washington, and I think he has to really, push these guys to get more out of them. All right, so that was the offensive coaches. So the one thing you will see, the Steelers have a very small coaching staff compared to other teams. I mean, they do have some assistants, like assistant line coach and that, but for the most part, the Steelers probably have one of the smallest coaching staffs in the NFL. So let's go over to the defensive side. Terrell Austin, this is his 5th year with the team. So, me personally, and I think a lot of people probably feel this way. Terrell Austin, he's a defensive coordinator by title. Everybody know that this defense is really Mike Tomlin's defense. So when people was kind of saying, he should be fired, I knew right away he wasn't going anywhere, because at the end of the day, if I'm really running the defense, or if I'm really got a huge influence on the defense, and then stuff don't go right, then I can't come to you and say, hey man, I gotta let you go. When I know at the end of the day it's really me that is probably just involved in this thing than he is. So he probably got the safest. I mean, he's probably like the safest guy on the staff, to be honest. But with that said, his seat is hot, and you'll see why I'm really gonna say his seat is hot. But we'll come back to that. But yeah, he has a lot of things that he needs to get done. I mean, you got one of the highest paid defense, and that collapse, at the end of the year was not good. But like I said, we'll circle back on why I think his seat is hot. All right, Coach Gerald Alexander. This is his first year. Now he's actually been with the Steelers before, but he's back. So he's a new defensive back coach. Again, the one good thing is Fitzpatrick probably had his best year at the Steelers with him, under his tutelage. So that's a good thing. So maybe he can get Minka back to being the old Minka. He just gotta his biggest project is gonna be Jordy Porter. He's gonna have to get Porter to take that next step. Stop with all the penalties and you know, so that's really his project. I believe. So for right now, new coach. So his seat is, his seat is cold. His seat is cold. Carl Dunbar, 7th year defensive line coach. It's a possibility that he may have a number 1 draft pick on under his tutelage, because the Steelers need to get a young defensive lineman. So with that said, he's gonna have to develop that guy. Again, it was just the defense as a whole, but not stopping the run. I mean, it came to a point that you just could run all over the Steelers. So he has to take some responsibility for that. I got a seat that's being warm, and I'm saying that just because the way they end the year, and like I say, it's a good possibility that he may have a 1st round pick, definitely a 2nd round pick, that he's going to have to get that guy ready to go, because like I say, the Steelers need a young defensive tackle to try to shore up this run defense. So We'll see. Denzel Martin, 5th year outside linebacker coach. Now, he probably got the easiest. He probably got the easiest job out here. I mean, how hard is it to coach T.J. Watt? So, with Watt and Highsmith, them guys doing their thing, but you got to give them credit. You got some young guys that's really starting. That's coming along and developing. Herbert. So you got to give him his credit for that. So I think Coach Martin is doing a good job. He's solid. So his seat is cold. No issues there. All right. So this is one of the new coaches, Scott McCurley, inside linebackers coach. Really don't know. Honestly, I don't really know too much about him. So, I mean, he has a talented group that he'll be taking over with Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts and Peyton Wilson. So he has some players. So we'll see what he can do. I think he's coming from Dallas, so he's used to coaching some real good solid guys. So we'll see what he can do. So obviously his chair is his seat is cold right now. So we'll see how he goes once he get thrown into the fire. Special teams coach Danny Smith. His 12th year. Coach Smith probably can coach until he just say, "Hey, I'm done." Um, you got the best kicker in the game. The special teams started the season off. I mean, you can't start no hotter than the way they started off. So, solid. The Steelers. If I can remember, I know like at the end of the year, their kickoff team kind of got a little leaky a little bit. They was giving up some decent runs, but I don't think nobody ran anything back on them. The punter was great, and that wasn't even the main punter. Johnson, blew his knee out, so we'll see how that goes. But Danny Smith, he's good. So his seat is cold. The head coach. Here we go. Mike Tomlin. So I've always said I'm not a one of these guys that's want to be a Mike Tomlin basher and just say he got to be fired, this, and that. But I've always took the stand with him as the message gets a little stale. You're going into his 19th year, so that message gets stale. Um, but I think when I look at Coach Tomlin, I look at him as a leader of men's. But I just think as sometimes you have to kind of not reinvent yourself, but you have to let go a little bit and trust. Put a little trust in your staff a little more. And I would love to see Tomlin just be the CEO type. I mean, he always going to be involved with the defense, but I think if he did a little bit more of a CEO type, let his coordinators do their job, and I mean, you the head coach, so you always got say into things, but let those guys do their job, and just just let the team, coach the team and try to get this playoff drought over with, because right now that's just, man, that's ridiculous. But with that said, I'm gonna say his seat is hot, and the only reason I'm gonna say his seat is hot, and like I said, this is my opinion. I know the Steelers don't feel that way, but at some point, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. At some point, it was time for Andy Reid to go, and it wasn't that you're letting him go because he's not a good coach. It was just, hey, it wasn't working here. It wasn't going to work here. We need to go in a new direction. He needs to go in a new direction. And as you can see, it worked out for both of them. Andy Reid, being the good coach that he is, got a new beginning. You see what Kansas City is doing. You see what Philadelphia is doing. So sometimes um it's just time. And I kind of think that's where the Steelers are at with Mike Tomlin. I just think it may be time, but we'll you know we'll see. We'll see how this season goes. But yeah, it just it just may be time to maybe make a change, but um we'll see what the Steelers do. So with that, said, that's it for this podcast. I think we got some draft stuff coming up, but that's pretty much it for now. So until next time, take care, and I'll talk to you later.